Alright, welcome to our first test match with Blue Black Reanimator. I'm gonna choose to play first. I really hope this isn't burn again. Like it's really hard to record in two-mans now because there's so much burn, and I don't want to record against burn for you guys because no matter what deck I play, it's just not educational because it's just like you have these anti-red cards or you don't, and you either draw them or you don't. You either win or you lose. That's pretty much what it is. You know, mulligan though. I'll keep this hand. This hand's actually not bad. It's got a Ponder and a Brainstorm, Counterspell, and a Vapor Snag just in case, I guess. Hopefully we get to scry into something good. Groping Angler, not exactly what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for lands. I'm gonna Ponder here instead of cycling, I think. Let's see what I get. Exhume, Nihil Spellbomb, and Striped Riverwinder. Well, the problem is I can't cast the Exhume, and I'm only working on one island. I can, however, cast Brainstorm and try to get into more lands. I could take a chance with that, but I think I'm better off cycling. I mean, shuffling and seeing where I get. Did I put you on the bottom? Why are you here? Anyway. Plains. Well, it's not burn. Alright, White Weenie. Sure. Draw a card. Drew an Exhume anyway. Alright, well. We're gonna cycle this now just in case I draw a land. Try to make a land drop. Hopefully I do. I did not. Well, when you're playing a 17 land deck, this can sometimes happen. It's not often, but it does sometimes happen. So we'll see how this goes for me in life. Correction, it looks like I'm facing off against tokens. Another Brainstorm. Alright, see how locked I am. Hopefully not at all. Okay. It's not bad. So I guess we'll put back you and you. And I guess I could play Delver and get it shot by the Acacian Javelineer. It's not going to do anything else. And if anything, it puts a card into my graveyard for Gangler. So I think that works. We'll just go ahead and do that. Which is unfortunate, but no matter what, my Delver is going to get shot by Acacian Javelineer. Okay, so they do have a Plains in their hand. And here comes the Hawks. Okay, so they have Plains and one Hawk in their hand. I assume they're going to put one Hawk in. Well, we know about one Hawk. I mean, they could have more, but, you know. Also, my air conditioner's not on currently, so I hope that helps anybody. Yep, Delver down. Alright, let's vote 2 blue and Gush real quick. Thought Scour. Alright, let's go ahead and Brainstorm. Okay, well, we're close to what we want. So what 2 cards do I not give a crap about? I can play Dismal Backwater this turn. Because I kind of plan on Thought Scouring since I can't... I mean, I could cast Gurmag Angler. Could I cast Gurmag Angler and leave the Serpent in my graveyard? Let's see. If I put 2 cards back, I cycle this, play the Swamp. That would be... I would have 6 cards in my graveyard, so theoretically 1, 2, 3, 4... No, I would need 7 cards in my graveyard to be able to do that. So I can't actually cast Gurmag Angler this turn without doing Thought Scour. We can... I think I can lose a Gurmag Angler. And probably the Ash Barons. Alright. Don't they know I'm recording? So I think... Yeah, let's do that. And let's Thought Scour myself. Drew another Dismal Backwater. Okay. So we'll play the Backwater. And we'll pass the turn. Do I have to discard a card? I do have to discard a card. I think I'll discard the Backwater. It's literally the worst card in my hand since Vapor Snag does help a bit. And at this point I'll be able to cast 2 Gurmag Anglers. So that shouldn't be a problem. The main problem here is my opponent building a board before I can actually get a bunch of things going. Like that. I can't imagine this matchup is too good game 1. I imagine game 2, when you get Nauseas, it's much better. Alright, let's go ahead and Exhume. And then next turn, I think I can cast 2 Gurmag Anglers? Maybe? So the problem, of course, here that you're running into is that these creatures that you have, these big monsters, you don't have enough removal to really deal with a big board like this game 1. You know, you don't have like Echoing Decay or anything of that sort. But the other problem is you don't they don't have Trample. So that's a really big issue. They just don't have Trample. Oh my god. It's great. I turn off my air conditioner and I get cop noises. Rush of Vitality, that allows me to live for a turn, but I think in the grand scheme of things I'm overall just dead. Actually, it doesn't allow me to live because I can gain 6 and go to 10, but then the Rally of the Peasants kills me because I can't counter it. Yep. That's unfortunate. Alright. So we are dead. Was I on the play that game? I was on the play that game. Dang. Alright. So we're going to bring in Storm Out guys because they're really good here. We're going to bring in the Nauseas. The Nihil Spellbomb doesn't really do anything. Vampiric Link is very good, of course. What isn't good here is the question. I don't think Delver is actually good in this matchup. One, because if I don't cast it quick enough, it just dies to Vacation Javelineer. But also because they can spread so many tokens that they're not really going to give a crap about Delver. They can easily just block it. I don't think the Deprive does anything here. I don't think a 5th counterspell does it. And the Dispel probably doesn't do anything unless I know that they're bringing in Pyroblast. In which case, then the Dispel's not bad. But unless I for sure know they're doing that, I think Counterspell is probably just better. Vapor Snag isn't great. I guess Dispel's better than Vapor Snag in that regard. So we'll bring that in and we'll just go ahead and submit. Alright, we'll keep this hand. I can cycle a Riverwinder, and if I draw an Exhume, I can cast it on turn 2. I also have a Nausea and a Counterspell, so hopefully I can do that. I think since I'm able to possibly Exhume the Serpent on turn 2, I'm just going to cycle it here. And a turn 1 Vacation Javelineer, that's great. Let's go ahead and Fate. A Brainstorm. Okay. And a Thought Scour. Alright, well, we're going to just play Dismal Backwater and we're going to pass the turn. Probably going to Brainstorm here at the end of my opponent's turn and then possibly Thought Scour on my upkeep. Which is a great, great thing about Thought Scour in this deck. Looks like my opponent has the exact same draw as game 1, just about. They're attacking me and they're probably going to play a Karoo. Oh, they kept a 1-land hand. Okay. Go ahead and Brainstorm here. And we see Gurmag Angler and a couple of islands. Well, I can throw away both of the islands. Can I cast Gurmag... and then I can cast Gurmag Angler next turn. So let's go ahead and do that. Since I don't really need both islands right now. I'm actually good on lands for right now. I just... Hello. I want a threat on the board, or I want to be able to draw an Exhume. So let's go ahead and just cast this Gangler, I think. Oh, but that removes my Serpent, doesn't it? Damn. However, if I Thought Scour myself, I can keep the Serpent in the graveyard, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's better. I think it's better to keep the Serpent in the graveyard. So let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully I don't lose anything too precious. We lost a Mental Note and a Gush. Well, losing the Mental Note, not a big deal. Losing the Gush, not really a big deal right now either, because I can't cast it. So I'll go ahead and do this. And cast Angler. And hopefully my opponent does not have a Journey in their hand if they get a second land, because then what that allows me to do is, okay, I guess maybe they forgot to play a land? Not exactly sure. But that is extremely excruciatingly annoying that that just happened. Oh, well, my air conditioner's on. I'm going to shut it off for you guys. There we go. It wasn't on. It's nice and cool in my room, but I guess it decided that was not true. Alright, let's go ahead and brainstorm here, since I have the Mental Note. Jeez. What don't I need? I kind of want like all of these cards, which sucks. I don't really need the Dispel, and I guess I kind of don't really need the Mental Note all that much. I'm really looking for an Exhume, because Exhume plus Vampiric Link is gonna get me extremely far. See, I want to put back the Dispel and then shuffle my library with the Ash Barrens. Alright, let's go ahead and put back the Mental Note. And I think right now I want to cycle the Ash Barrens for an island and have Counterspell up. Get another land out there. And we'll go ahead and pass the turn. Losing a Shuffle effect for Brainstorm kind of sucks, but I think that's worth the loss for right now. So we'll see how that goes. See if I end up eating my words or not. Nothing from my opponent. Not going to Brainstorm right now because I have no way of actually using it. I could Brainstorm first with the Ponder, but I think I'd rather just Ponder. I think, you know... Alright, so we'll keep both Nauseas, I think, yeah. And then we will draw the Ash Barrens next turn. So no, and we'll pass the turn. Pretty set up right now with both Nauseas. Pretty lucky to see both Nauseas in the top, I'm not going to counter that. Was it 22 cards? Okay, opponent drew a third land. No. Just no. You're not allowed to have that. I still have a swamp open. I was like, I'm F8ing. Why isn't it working? I still have a swamp open. So from this deck, I'm pretty sure that they don't have burn. Most of those lists do not play burn, so. And I want to make my land drop here, so I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm. See, another Angler and a Rush of Vitality. Okay. So I guess we'll put back the Rush and the Brainstorm. Like so. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can actually keep the Ash Barrens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now... if my opponent doesn't have another removal spell, I am able to actually just put a Vampiric Link on here and go to town. But we'll see how that goes. I usually want to put on the Striped Riverwinder, but might not be in the cards. Another Lumen Third Field. Man, this guy is just Lumen Third Field flooded. So Since he drew 2 Lumenthread fields, it's very possible if there's a third one. I'm just going to Nausea now to clear 4 creatures off the board. And then I'll slap a Vampiric Link on my my Garbage Angler, possibly. Maybe not. No, I don't really feel like I need to. We'll go ahead and we'll Nausea, though. And we'll get in for 4. And we'll pass the turn. I'm still not going to use the Ash Barrens because I have a Brainstorm coming up. And I want access to that shuffle effect. So that is a big deal to me. So opponent had nothing on their main phase. We're going to go ahead and attack for 5 here, and then I'm going to pass the turn. Again, I'm not going to put the Vampiric Link in. I know most of you... Sure. I know most of you are probably wondering, like, why did I Nausea before I attacked? Well, my opponent could chump, and then I would lose out on 5 damage, as where if I Nausea, clear my opponent's board, I get in for 4 damage. So I felt that was more worth it to me. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, there's Battle Screech. Gonna Nausea away this Battle Screech as well. Because if my opponent draws another Lumenthread field, which they could very well have 4 in their deck, it's gonna be really hard times for me. And I think here I'm gonna Brainstorm. Like, I don't need this Rush of Vitality right now. Doesn't really do all that much. Stormbound Geist, however, is very good. And I don't really need the island. So I guess I could Thought Scour instead. That way I don't ever draw those cards again. But Gush, huh? Well, Gush is pretty good. I think I'd rather play Gush in my main phase, though. I'll go ahead and cycle this Ash Barrens while I have the chance for another island. Dismal Backwater. Don't really need that. So, again, we'll go ahead and Nausea. And I think I'll play out the Stormbound Geist, leaving the Gush and the Dismal Backwater in my hand, and I'll get him for 4. And I will pass the turn. So I definitely, if I win this game, it's definitely on the back of my opponent getting unlucky with their land drops, and then drawing a bunch of expensive spells. But as you can see, I would have had a problem where if one Lumenthread field landed, I would have had to use 2 Nauseas to kill all of my opponent's creatures, and then they would still have all this gas and blockers for days. And another big problem, of course, is that my creatures don't have trample, so it would be very hard to get through. Yeah, I could actually cast the Streptor Reminder soon, but we're gonna get in for 6 for now, or 7 actually. Opponent will probably chump my Angler, and then I have the option of actually just casting Gush, but that just seems wrong in like every way. And cycle. All right, there's the Exhume. So we'll go ahead and... Actually, I'm just going to cast the Exhume for now. And then I'll play out the Dismal Backwater. And I'm going to use all my mana, put the Vampiric Link on my Striped River Water. Yeah, the problem with Exhume is that my opponent gets Soul Warden back. But hopefully that doesn't really make a damn bit of difference this game. Now, here's a problem. My opponent, with that one Soul Warden, it's going to be a big problem for me because they get to cast, they're going to get to gain a lot of life. But hopefully I can grind them down. Okay, make that a ton of life. And I don't have any more Nauseas, and I don't have any Echoing Decays or anything like that. So, not only are they going to have a ton of blockers, but they're going to gain a very healthy amount of life here. At least another 4 life. And the other problem is that if they have a Rally the Peasants, I could easily just die, which would be a big problem. Even gaining 5 life, I could easily just die. An island that doesn't really do anything. Alright. Well, we can't block any of the flyers except with the Stormbound Geist, but I think I'd rather get in with the Stormbound Geist. So they'll probably chump one of these guys. I mean, they have to, or else they die. Oh, they're gonna chump both. That's interesting. So I'm gonna gain some life. And here I'm just gonna cast Gush. It seems like the correct thing to do. Well, we drew a Dispel, so that's gonna stop a rally. We see Augur of Bolus, Mental Note, and Stormbound Geist. Alright, so we'll draw the Stormbound Geist. And we'll draw the Augur of Bolus next turn, because I don't necessarily want the Mental Note. Go ahead and play this Stormbound Geist, and we'll pass the turn. Opponent gains a life. It's also worth noting that I'm down to 22 cards, which is not good for me. Alright, opponent drew Relic. Everybody plays Relic. Everybody plays a graveyard card. But, yeah, I don't really have much in my graveyard. I guess I have a Striped Riverwinder, but I can just cast them at this point if I want to. It might have just been better to actually just, instead of exhuming, casting this Striped Riverwinder in the long run. Might have just been better to do that. But we'll see if that ends up screwing me at the end of the day. Alright. Opponent not cracking the Relic right now to draw a card. To make a play. That's interesting. Alright, so there's Augur of Bolus. We'll go ahead and get in for a lot. 14. That's what I'm swinging in for. See how that works out for me. They're going to allow me to get 2 3/3s. I am not upset by this. At all, in the slightest. Not really sure... Oh, right, the Relic. I'm stupid. What are they... What costs 2 mana? They brought in Sundering Growth. Well, you're not allowed to have that. Why would you bring in Sundering Growth? What enchantment could you be scared about? That's very strange. I also, yeah, I derped. I totally missed the, excuse me, the Stormbound Geist interaction with Relic, so that was my bad. My opponent is, of course, playing this correct. And we're going to just go ahead and cast this Augur of Bolus. And we see Thought Scour. I'll take the Thought Scour since it's more beneficial. I guess I could Thought Scour my opponent, so it actually does do kind of something. Squadron Hawk. Alright. Well, I guess in response I'll go ahead and Thought Scour my opponent. See if I draw a counterspell. I did not. I drew a land. Or I could mill Hawks, so that was also something. So my opponent's got blockers for days, but hopefully I can whittle them down. Are they not casting the other Hawks? They're attacking me for 1. That's interesting. Guess they don't plan on blocking with this bird here. Yep, cast another Hawk. So yeah, had I it's interesting. Had I not actually exhumed the Riverwinder and just cast it naturally, I probably would not be in the predicament that I am now with my opponent gaining life off of this Soul Warden. Which is something I should have thought about, but I honestly forgot that Soul Warden was in the graveyard. And I really shouldn't have. Alright, opponent's going to take 6 and go to 4. Cool. And go ahead and cast this Garmag Angler for everything. And leave these 2 cards in my hand. The good thing is I have 3 lethal creatures on my side of the board at this moment in time. And I'm at 30, so I'm not dying to a rally anytime soon. Oh, well, a journey off the top is pretty good. Another problem is I have no way of removing journeys. Like, Echoing Truth would be a great card for me to have right now, but unfortunately, it's not what's going on here. Vapor Snag, however, is great. So we'll go ahead and attack. If my opponent wants to triple block my Augur, I'm fine with that, because then they would just die. Oh, so it looks like my opponent is going for a rally, because they're double blocking my Gurmag Angler. Yeah, okay. So they do in fact have a rally. And I'm going to get to blow them out with this Vapor Snag, which is good. So we'll go ahead and bounce this token and keep my Hexproof Lifelink dude. And then they'll trade away the Soul Warden. I'll gain some life. And I think they still have at least 1 Squadron Hawk in their hand. But I could be wrong. So that Vapor Snag was very good. It's very well timed. Okay, the last card's a Hawk. But they don't gain any life, which is the huge part. So Vapor Snag off the top, and I win the game. I don't know how many more Vapor Snags I have in my deck, though. I think I have 1 left. Alright, go ahead and think twice. And Ulu is bothering me about something. I'll go ahead and draw another card. Another Riverwinder. Alright, we'll go attack. Opponent will block, and I'm pretty sure I just win the game now, considering the fact that I get to counterspell whatever the hell I want to. So that's good. And it looks like I'm going to force at least a game 3. At least I'm going to do that. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, Uluguru, a member of the CPC, and also my usual co-host for Pop Classic Tuesdays. So as far as what's going on here, I think Deprive... I have 3 Dispels. That's a lot of Dispels. I'm going to take one of those out for a Deprive. And I'm going to go down to 1 Dispel for a Vapor Snag. Alright. I still don't think that Nihil Spellbomb is really worth it. Although it is pretty interesting because... normally, I don't really care about what my creatures are, or about what my opponent's exhuming with Nihil Spellbomb when it comes to an aggro matchup. But in this one, particularly, I do because of Soul Warden. But I think the only other bad card in my deck would be Rush of Vitality, and I'm kind of weary of taking that out. But I guess in the end, Nihil Spellbomb's probably still just better anyway. I don't think Spontaneous Mutation does anything, because it's not like I'm stopping individual creatures. I could bring in Aura Flux, but at the same time, Journey to Nowhere is not an Aura, so... Oh, it's just enchantment. At the same time, they should have so much mana that upkeeping for Journeys should not really matter. And I really don't think I need Deep Analysis, although I could bring one in over a Thought Scour effect. So that is something I could do, but I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now. And we'll see if I can get there. You know, I don't even know how did I waste so much time on my clock? I don't even know how I did that, but I guess I'll figure it out at some point in my life. So this hand is extremely disappointing. I mean, the 2 Vapor Snags aren't really going to do much. Ponder's nice, but the Dispel's dead, the Counterspell's dead because I only have 1 land, and it comes into play tapped, so I'm going to mulligan. Had this been an island, I think I could keep, though, with Ponder and Thought Scour, but I think a mulligan is better. This hand's considerably better. Now it's considerably better. And, Brainstorm, although it doesn't really do all that much. The Nihil Spellbomb, I guess, could help. I'm just going to put that out there next turn, most likely. Unfortunately, this is pretty much a mulligan to 5, because, of course, the Vampiric Link isn't doing anything. I guess playing the Nihil Spellbomb might not be a great idea, considering the fact that my opponent plays Sundering Growth? But, we'll see. Interesting. So they're just playing a slow game. Alright, well, we drew a Brainstorm. So that's good. I can shuffle away the Vampiric Link if I need to. And we'll see what my opponent does. Opponent kept a slow hand. a really slow hand. Well, they're probably going to have Raise the Alarm here, but... Which, thankfully, I successfully remember the name to most of the time. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put back both these Dismal Backwaters and Mental Note them away. Okay, so I can't draw Dismal Backwaters anymore. And there is a Striped Riverwinder. So I'll go ahead and play this. And I'll go ahead and pass the turn. And I'm probably going to cycle the Ash Barrens and the Striped Riverwinder at the end of turn. What did my opponent keep? Alright, so we'll go ahead and do this. Get an island. And cycle you. Oh, Ponder. Ponder's good. Oh, another Ponder. Alright, well, I want the counterspell. Not so much the Ash Barrens or anything else, but I'm going to go ahead and keep the Ash Barrens and then cycle next turn and Ponder. Try to get the most out of all the cards in my hand. See how that works out for me in this lifetime. So I'm going to take one. Opponent probably has at least 2 Journeys in hand, I'd have to imagine. Or maybe some Pyroblasts. They probably have some Pyroblasts. Is this a Battle Screech? Yep. Gonna let that resolve. Probably Nausea next turn. I'd be extremely surprised if they don't just flash it back right now. I guess they don't have to, but... yeah, they probably still should. Well, they didn't Pyroblast my Ponder, and I would think they would want to. I don't know these decks to really play Pyroblast all that often, so... alright, we'll go ahead and Ponder now. Brainstorm, Gush, and Island. Yeah, I guess we can keep all of these. Since I already played a land, I'm not going to Gush just yet. And I think I'm going to keep up the counterspell and just pass the turn. And draw the Brainstorm. I'm not even going to cast an Hill Spellbomb. There's, I think, straight up no point in giving my opponent a target for the Sunring Vitae right now. 3 mana for a Morph. Well, we all know what that is. So, I guess I have to counterspell it. I may have gotten greedy by not casting the Nausea, because my opponent never cast Lumenthard Field this entire time. Yep. Take a nice big ol' hit of 4. How am I at 20? Oh, I played 2 of these. Like, how am I at 22? Alright, let's go ahead and Gush first. Hoping my opponent does not have Pyroblast. They don't. Alright, Brainstorm's good. Go ahead and Nausea first. Hopefully it resolves. It does. My opponent doesn't even poke me, which is very interesting. So I'll go ahead and Brainstorm. See, Gurmag Angler and Counterspell. Alright, we'll put back 2 lands, since we don't really need any of those. We'll go ahead and play this land, and we'll Thought Scour ourselves. Another Gurmag Angler. Considering the fact that I have so many cards, I don't really think I care about my opponent Journey to Nowhereing a Gurmag Angler, since it's going to happen no matter what. And I'm going to leave up the Thought Scour. Probably not going to Thought Scour myself. I'm probably going to Thought Scour my opponent, because I don't intend on losing a... That's going to be extremely annoying. Alright. I don't really want to lose a, whatchamacallit? A thing. Exhume. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and Thought Scour here. And mill the Squadron Hawk and a Plains, okay. Ooh, Vapor Snag. Another counterspell. Alright, let's go ahead and cast this Gurmag Angler. And pass the turn. I could even Vapor Snag it if I wanted to, which is always good. Not that I would, but just in case. My opponent had kept like 3 Journey to Nowhere, so I'm going to be slightly upset. Because I know they kept at least 2. They had to have kept at least 2. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. Nothing from my opponent. Did they really just have air? I mean, they probably have a, what's the name of that card? Raise the alarm, but... One of my plans is to Vapor Snag the Soul Warden, and then counterspell it, so I don't have to deal with it again. No, my opponent has nothing? They have nothing. Okay. I'm very surprised by that. That's interesting. This is going to be a long-ass video. Not attacking. Okay. Cool. We're going to go ahead and Vapor Snag this. Do they have a Pyroblast now? They could. They don't. And then Thought Scary You. Which... Yeah, I milled 2 more planes. Oh, but I would have milled the counterspell. See? Like, I may have milled 2 planes, but milling the counterspell would have been bad. So we're going to go ahead and attack for 5. Cast this other Gurmag Angler. And now we have 2 counterspells. We should be in pretty decent shape right now. 7. And I'm going to pass the turn. Again, there's no reason for me to actually cast an Inhale Spellbomb because I'm not casting Exhume right now, so... But wow, if I didn't Thought Scour my opponent, they were going to draw a lot of lands. Getting extremely lucky here. Very humble. Humble brags. Sure. So I'm going to lose my own Riverwinder. But I'm not going to waste a counterspell on that. Sure. I wish my opponent was at 10 life. Damn you, Windscarred Crag. You don't get to have a Soul Warden because that card annoys the crap out of me. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and attack for 10. And have 2 counterspells and put my opponent on dead. Hopefully I get there. Sweet! I did not expect to win that game. Alright, so, not gonna lie, got extremely lucky. Lost game 1 pretty easily, actually, but I think I may have screwed up game 2 where if I had just cast the Striped Riverwinder, I would have been fine, instead of just exhuming it, because I gave my opponent a ton of turns with the Soul Warden, but my opponent choosing to try to use the rally of the peasants in a defensive way, and to try and kill my creatures, and me having the timely Vapor Snag, I think was a very huge reason why I won that game. Then game 3, my opponent, I don't know what hand they kept, but they must have just got mana flooded out the wazoo and just draw nothing but lands. But so you saw that how this deck pretty much functions in every way. I mean, it pretty much functions like that. You know, you end up just brainstorming and mental noting yourself a bunch. You get out a couple of big creatures, you counterspell, and then you go to town. You know, this deck is a lot like what Angler Delver is. It's a lot like Esper Dragons from Standard, I think, a couple of years ago in Khan's block now, where the point of that deck was you control the game with Thoughtseize and some other stuff, and then you cast, I'm forgetting what the name of the, Ojutai. I think it was Dragonlord Ojutai, the 5/4, and you just protect it with 4 Silumgar Scorns, and there you go. You know, you just win the game. But yeah, so that was our first test match. We're not done yet. Still got another one to go. So I'll be back for that, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.